Hello. Hope you're having a great day. This is Sophia, and we're going to do a video today. I wanted to talk about head and hand tremor again. A lot of people responded regarding that subject, and I wanted to talk about how I was filled with so much shame as far as my head and hands having this tremor. They started on the exact same moment when I was 20 years old, and now I just turned 72. And so I've dealt with it for a long time. When it first came, and for many years, I was able to control the tremor in my head by tightening up the muscles in my neck really tight, and I could keep my head from shaking. And people would say, "Do you have a stiff neck?" And I'd say, "Yeah, I got a stiff neck," which to me was better than a head tremor. But then after a while, I couldn't do that anymore. It just didn't work for me. And from that time on, I was just filled with so much shame about this problem. For one thing, I didn't remember the abuse or the incest or the trauma or anything until I was 40 years old. And so it was something that I had, along with depression, anxiety, thoughts of suicide, and like 70 out of the 99 after effects of sexual abuse. So head tremor and hand tremor was just something on the list, but it wasn't like my main concern by any means. Thoughts of suicide, that was number one. And the nightly nightmares, I would say, was number two. Every single night I had nightmares. And so throughout the years, as God has removed so much of that garbage that I had, now I'm down to just a few little things. And I spoke to a woman at church one day who also had a head tremor, and I gently began speaking about it and asking her when she got it and how it has been for her. And she just laughed and smiled and said, "Oh, I don't even really think about it anymore." And she was just so happy, and she said, "Is my head shaking right now?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Oh, I don't even notice it." And I thought, wow, how can you not notice it? Because I'm just so filled with shame. It just really bothers me. And she was an inspiration to me. And there was another woman that I saw at Walmart one day, probably 15 years ago. Her and another person were looking at clothing, and this woman's head was violently shaking back and forth, and moisture from her mouth was just spraying. And whoever was with her was yelling at her. And, I still pray for her. I just felt so bad for her. And I think that lots of times when people take notice of problems that we have, they're not judging us, they're praying for us. And so that's a good thing. But now, I play pickleball 3 times a week, and I'm in a room with probably 50 other people, and I'm sure my head is shaking. But I just don't let it bother me anymore. Life is too short, and I find that the more I accept it, the more that I don't think about it, the better it is. And my head doesn't shake nearly as bad as it used to. Even though every time I see a doctor, he'll say, the older you get, the worse it's going to get. that hasn't been true for me. I don't receive that information. So no matter where you got it from, I had it, my grandmother and my aunt. My grandmother had a head tremor. My aunt had a hand tremor. And so genetically that was there for me. Plus also having trauma, there's psychogenic tremor. So I'm kind of from a couple different areas, could have gotten it that way. But it is what it is, but life is so great. I don't take any time or attention thinking about it or worrying about it or being ashamed anymore. I have tried to move on and move away from that totally. Now my hand tremor in my right hand has gotten worse. Back when I was between 65 and 71, and I was on the typewriter or on the computer a lot typing my books, I wasn't noticing it too much, but now when I type, my hand is just wanting to jump off the keyboard, and so it's worse. But I think I've written all the books I think that I'm going to, so once again, it isn't really a problem for me. Pickleball, I can swing that racket, and it's not a problem. But just being able to say, I am so healed in so many different areas, concentrate on all the wonderful things that God has done for me, and not hone in on specific problems has helped me. Just in general, I'm 100% okay. I can do what I want to do. I can go where I want to go. I'm not housebound anymore. I'm not anxious. I'm not depressed. I don't have suicidal thoughts. On and on and on, praising God for all the things that are just gone. And if there's a few little things left, so be it. Not a problem. So whatever it is that you're dealing with, I pray that you will ask God for help. Just open up your heart and just let God come in and ask Him to take the driver's seat of your life. And He'll do exactly for you what He did for me. Just turning it all over to Him, and just watch and see how your life changes so quickly. So just make it a great day. I hope you like, subscribe, and please send any comments you have or any subjects that you'd like me to talk about. I'd be happy to do that. My life is an open book now. There isn't anything I won't talk about, because God is so good. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.